It's over. It's done. We got a lot to talk about, boy. Now, we had some predictions. Many people predicted certain things were going to happen, and they did. And we got something we didn't know was going to happen. Because a lot of questions, like Brock Lesnar, we weren't sure, but we thought for certain it might happen. But I'm going to tell you this. You look at night 1 and night 2 of SummerSlam, and I know I could save this for the end, but why? Why save it for the end? I want to say something now, and then I'll add more later. Let's make this very clear. The first night of SummerSlam, I didn't really like that much. I didn't. I'm not saying the wrestling was bad, because it was not. But you look at the show, you look at that PLE, it just only had 2 real stories. Everything else had matches, and I know you're going to say, what about Roman Reigns, the storyline there? That was not his storyline. That was Seth Rollins' storyline with Punk. That's what that was. Because Roman is not involved in it anymore. He's done. He was just there supporting Cass and getting his younger, well, technically speaking, his cousin over. That's more like his brother than anything else. Jay, he put over. Because like I said in my video, last night, Roman, he's mostly out of the WWE. He's doing more stuff outside of it. He's going to be coming back periodically, but more like a part-time wrestler now. That's what he's doing. But Jay is still in it. Jimmy is still in it. And he's going to put them over more than anything else. He's going to help them to promote, along with Hikuleo and everybody else. That's what he's going to do from now on. He's helping everybody else, but he'll still care about himself. But that's what it's like. And that generally was it for night 1. You got the Jelly Roll, and how well he worked. And I did like Jelly Roll. I did. I liked how he worked in the ring. It wasn't the fact he won. It was the fact that he showed that he wanted to take bumps. That he did his business. And I was fine with it. Taking that splash from Logan Paul was beautiful. Logan, you can say a lot about Logan. I know many have. And Alex can't stand his ass, believe me. And I'm not too fond of him, but I'm not going to tell you that he's a bad wrestler, because he's not. But it was only that match and the CM Punk with Gunther match. That's it. Everything else could have been done on a Raw SmackDown flat out. So that made it really deflate. It should be here. It should be here, not here. It should be here, and it's here. The only reason it gets bumped to here is the closing match and Seth Rollins coming in. But then you look at night 2. And they packed that bitch with as much as they could to make it good. And I'm going to tell you this. Easily, and this is historically, when it comes to WWE, since they've been doing 2 nights, the first night sometimes is better than the night 2. But in this situation, it's not. Night 1 without the closing was not good. It just was average. This outshines night 1, flat out. It was a very good night 2 for SummerSlam. Let's get started. Triple H opened. He made it very clear this is going to be the most historic. Well, he says that almost all the time. Since they became a part of Netflix, Peacock, and Silver Lake. Remember, WWE doesn't exist anymore. It's not even Endeavor anymore. It's Silver Lake. So the new era of Silver Lake is running wild on you, brother. And they did show respect to Hulk Hogan. Now, I didn't say that last night. I should have. I forgot. But, I want to make this clear right now. I'm sorry I did not upload my Gump Goodness on Thursday or Friday. There was some stuff I had to do. And I had an allergy problem. I was not feeling well. But I have the Gump Goodness, the next episode that'll be uploaded tomorrow with Brooke Hogan about it. It's going to be about Brooke Hogan. And there should be episodes after that. At least I got 4 or 5 of them already recorded. 4 already recorded. You should see them. But then you see Nick Hogan. He was there with his wife. You saw a whole bunch of stars, which I wish they wouldn't do, but they did do it. And we got a Stephanie McMahon sighting. Not surprising. She's always going to keep showing up on these shows periodically. Even if she's not working for the company, she's going to show up because, hell, she has the right to do whatever she wants because she's that much of a celebrity in wrestling. We got all the celebrity people there. We got that. And then, of course, you got the Dudleys. And I'll talk about that when you look at that ladder match. It was something. But we got the opening, which was the heater for the entire show. And I'm going to tell you this. This was the best match of the night for me personally. Now, maybe I'm a bit biased because Naomi is in it, yeah. But I'm not going to lie. Due to the fact that Rhea Ripley did great, Io Sky did great, and Naomi not only did a great job as a heel, she had her dad do her music on the ramp, playing that bitch, and you can see him in my face. You see him with her. I'm sorry, the picture's not very good. It was a little blurry. That's how the camera went. You literally had a match that had a good amount of offense from everybody, a good amount of defense from everybody. Was there a botch or two? I think 1 or 2 botches happened during that match. I can't remember. I think it was somewhere in the middle. There was 1 botch, but it was minor. But when you look at this, not only did Naomi shine here, she retained. And I expected Rhea to possibly take that damn title. I did not see Io winning. I'm sorry. I like Io. I literally like her. I do. I think she's a good wrestler. And since she does speak English, and she's had some level of character build. I did not expect her to win. I thought Rhea was going to take that title right back from Naomi. But they didn't do it. And I'm glad they didn't do it. Did I believe Naomi could win? Yeah, I did. I'm not going to lie, I didn't think she couldn't win. But the way they've been building up Rhea, I expected them to actually just do it. But they didn't go there. Rhea did not win. In fact, she was one who had to eat the pin when she did her riptide off the second turn rope, nailed Io, and Naomi rolled her ass up and pulled those damn tights tight, and she won the damn match. Now, this is where the big question comes in. You now have Rhea Ripley, who again loses to Naomi. Where they're going to make Naomi job, I don't know. And I'm going to make this really clear. As it stands, and I tried to explain it last night, it's when you look at the situation with Naomi, and I want to make this clear, I love Naomi, but let's make it honesty. They had no interest in pushing Naomi. They used her to push other people. It is obvious they did. But once Jade Cargill got injured, they decided, okay, Jade is out. They're not going to do any heel turn with Bianca or Jade for that matter. Then the best person to do it would be Naomi because they can't use her. So they said, okay, Naomi, we're going to give you this moment. We're going to turn you heel. Something different since we're not really doing a lot with you. But they did not expect the Trinity Fatu to put over or put out such a great heel persona. They didn't expect her to be that good and people to be receptive to it. They didn't. There's no way they were thinking this. No, they weren't. They weren't doing anything with her. We know they were not doing anything with her. But the moment they had no one to turn heel on Bianca, the best option was to let Jade go out because she was injured, make it look good, make Naomi turn. They thought maybe it'll keep them busy for a little while until she can come back. They never expected Naomi to be that good. And that's one of the problems that they've always had with Naomi. They never believed in her 100%. And I did like during the match that Michael Cole directly addressed that Naomi was forced out of the company. Well, pretty much. She wasn't forced out. She left because she got treated like shit. He didn't want to go that far. But still, I liked how they went. Next match, we get... What did I honestly think about this ladder match? You got Andrade and Rey Fenix. You got 100% the Motor Machine Guns, who I do like a lot. Axiom and Frazier are the ones I like the most because I've seen how they work. They are very good, and they got good character, particularly when Frazier acts stupid and gets Axiom in trouble. They still kind of do that. Did I think the Street Profits really have reached their stride? No. Do I believe they've reached going down? Yes. DIY is the same thing. To be honest, when you look at, and I want to make this very clear, the match itself was very good. There was some deadly spots. Look what happened with Candice LeRae. She wanted to try and get the titles for her man and could not. And she got shoved off she gets shoved off the ladder and took a bump through a ladder side first. And yes, we got BFAB as well as the champion's own monster and Nikki Cross dealing their little moment. But Candice LeRae took that hard bump. That one was lovely. It was a good match. But I'm going to be honest here. There are 3 teams there I did not care about. When it comes to Street Profits, I still like them, but they really don't feel important as they should. I feel like they've been in the main title for so long, but never really got much out of it. Of course, they had some when it was with Bobby Lashley. But honestly, at this point, it almost feel like they need to separate them for a little while and then bring them back together. Have some type of conflict. Or at least send them over to SmackDown or better yet NXT for a little while. I know that's not something you want to hear, hearing the Street Profits in NXT for a little bit. I really feel like they need to go somewhere else for a little while. So send them over to NXT. When you look at DIY, those two just need to fight one another. I'm sorry. I know Ciampa and Gargano are great as tag. They're better when they're fighting one another. It is time to separate these two. Flat out, they need to be separated. And there's why it's 6. And seeing that Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis are the ones who are currently holding the titles. And it was Joe Gacy who managed to get the titles from the top. I'm like, really, why it's 6 feel important? No. And I didn't understand why they were giving the titles. Yeah, people were happy to see them have it, but I'd rather have seen Uncle Howdy be the champion with a Eric Rowan, not Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy. I don't hate them because I like them. I still like Joe Gacy. I still like Dexter. But honestly, it should have been Uncle Howdy and Eric Rowan. So that doesn't feel right. Unless they do the Freebird rule, since there are 4 of them, they switch between the 4. So now Uncle Howdy will wrestle with Eric Rowan. And I don't remember them doing it. And they could have. I think I might have missed an episode or 2 of Raw. I'd rather see Uncle Howdy with Eric Rowan. And the ones who should have won, to be honest, should have been Axiom and Frazier. That's the truth. Moving on. Next match. The match that I was not sure how good it was going to be, but here it was a good match, and it continued this storyline. Let me give it to you like this. And almost forgot. That Spanish Fly with Angelo Dawkins onto that table was so bad. Yeah, I know Dexter Lumis did a dive as well as for a Rey Fenix, but that Spanish Fly with him doing it with Axiom, that was ugly. But here's the no DQ, no countout match between Lara Valkyria and a Becky Lynch. Was it a little botchy? Yeah. At one point, when you get the zip ties on the wrist of a, let me give it to you like this. It looked fine for a little while she was zip tied, and that is Lara, until she does a move where her hand pops out and she got to slip it back in, and then she kind of messes up because she loops it like this instead of leaving it like this. Because when she did it like that, it was a little more harder to get out because it was tight. Other than those kind of mistakes, it wasn't bad. Seeing the crowbar was a good touch. The trope, I don't like much when they do these types of matches is the fire extinguisher. I know it's a classic, it's a trope, but I don't really like seeing that often. I wish they would not go there all the time because it's always used, and I wish they would use it once in a while, like no one's used it in a couple of years, and then someone uses it out of the blue. That would be nice. But like AEW, WWE does the same thing, as well as you might get TNA getting it once in a while, but I don't think they very rarely ever used it. So if TNA did it, I would be interested more in them using the fire extinguisher than WWE or AEW because they've used it a lot. But as the match went, and you can see that the story was developing pretty well, how she was going to do everything possible to keep from getting beat because she knew she was not going to get a second match, another match from Becky. That was going to be it. But then the introduction of Bayley. Yes. Bayley being introduced into it where she's keeping Lyra from getting a tire iron, a very long crowbar, I'm sorry, I said a tire iron, a very long crowbar about to get wrapped around her head after she got rammed into the reinforced tables and then gets smashed was good. Seeing that the reason that Lyra lost was because of Bayley. Because Bayley was going to do whatever she could to really not let Becky win. And she didn't want to screw over Lyra. But now, because she has nailed Lyra in the face at the last point in the match, and then Lyra got rolled up and beat, there's going to be a feud between Lyra and Becky. But at the same time, it's going to be Lyra and Bayley. Because I don't think they're going to move away from these three. I just don't see it right now. There's going to be a match where all three of these women are going to have to get in the ring again. But it will probably not be for the title. It will be for something entirely different. I do believe they're going to have a triple threat again. But it will not be for the title because Lyra doesn't have that option unless Bayley wins. Lyra's not going to get that shot at the title, but she may get into a triple threat. That is just me. Guys, tell me below. Next, the steel cage match. Jacob versus Solo. We got an introduction. Well, we got... How can I say this? It felt like there was something missing. Not saying it was a bad match. I liked it. I say it was the... I say it was the third best match of the night for me, personally. And I want to make this very clear. Jimmy coming in to help and nails the former Hikuleo. I don't remember what he's called now. What is he called? Tonga Kent. What is his name again? You're going to tell me the name of Hikuleo, but I can't remember right now. But Tungaloa took some good bumps. JC, Mateo took some good bumps. But in the end, Solo won. He kept the damn title. But then you get two of Tungaloa and JC getting their asses whooped. And seeing that when it comes to it, almost indestructible is a Jacob Fatu because he decides to do pretty much a moonsault off the top turn, not the top turn, off the cage. Lands hard on the hip and hits Tomaloga in the back and some of the head, jumps straight up and acted like nothing happened. He took that hit like a champ. Not many people can just get straight up after having a hard match and act like nothing's happening. That is pretty much what he did, and I thought it was done very, very well. Now, did I care about the IC match? Here's the thing. You could say, dude, you got to love this match. I did. But is it second place? Nope. Is it third place? Nope. It is fourth place. We are doing an Eddie Guerrero level of respect, a tribute to him. Because AJ Styles decided to show respect to him. Wearing trunks just like the old Latino Heat. Then you see a little bit of the Dominic doing a little bit of what he normally does. But then they decided to do the Kurt Angle. I cannot believe they decided to do the match between Eddie Guerrero and Kurt Angle when he got the ankle lock done more than a few times. He untied his shoelace on his boot. He managed to get that shoelace off, get the boot off, and then was able to use that to be able to beat Kurt. And that's what we got with Dominic. And unfortunately, they had to set it up in a way that they had to make Dom look super intelligent, because you can see Dom wears boots that zip up. They're not lace up. And Dom decided, and they filmed it. You could see it live. You see him unzipping his boot. So when AJ Styles decided to do the calf crusher on him, it slips off. And then Dom was able to get over on him and then get the win. I'm not going to tell you that was bad, because it was funny. Along with a little bit of lie, cheat, and steal of Eddie acting like he's going to hit you with a chair, Dom had it, dropped it on the floor, and acted like he got hit. Well, he hit the floor, then he dropped it. And what did AJ do? He did the same thing. A little lie, cheat, and stealing too. He basically decided to put it around his neck, lay on the floor, of course the ring, and act the same way, and making that little leg shake like he got nailed, and the ref don't know who the hell did what. I'm not going to say it wasn't fun, because it was. There's no way you wouldn't like it. And it was done very well. But it's still fourth place for me personally. But I didn't hate it. I did. I liked it. I did. Final match. Let me give it to you like this. John Cena versus a Cody Rhodes. I thought three things had to happen. Three things could have happened. Not three things had to happen. Three things could happen. One, John Cena did not turn face. He's still heel, and he screws over Cody. That's one possibility. Two, Cody turns heel and then screws over John, and then we go with Cody in the heel turn. And three, there was going to be some type of screwy ending afterward that I just didn't know what it was. But there had to be something extra to go with it. Either Cody would get attacked by somebody, or maybe John. I thought maybe it would be John, but I thought maybe it would be Cody that would get attacked by somebody after the match was over. But we got a very, very good match. Now, I'm going to be telling you this. When you look at this street fight, it was a good street fight. It wasn't the best you've ever seen. It was a good street fight, but you can honestly tell. And even though they did their best to try and cover for it, and this is the truth. Let's make this very clear. Michael Cole and Wade Barrett did a great job throughout the night. I liked how they did the commentary. I would like to see that it would have been good with Pat McAfee, but he is still working in college football, I believe. But the thing here is this. We look at John, and when he lifted up those steps, threw them into the ring, got nailed a couple of times, and then tried to throw him outside to hit a Cody Rhodes. And I do believe I got a shot of him taking that hit in the arm, because he did get hit. I thought he actually might have broken a bone the way it was thrown. But you can tell John is not as strong as he used to be. There is no way you can deny. If anybody says John is just as strong as he was, no. Even John Cena himself said he's just not like he used to be anymore. He can't do it. And when you see John, he wasn't faking lifting up those steps. Doesn't mean he isn't still strong as hell. He is. But there's a difference how John would do a fake trying to get it over his head compared to actually trying to get over his head. He doesn't go all the time. Let's make it very clear. He just finished doing a movie, I believe. Or doing, not a movie. He was doing, what is his? Peacemaker. And he hasn't been there for a while, so he hasn't been wrestling a lot. So, essentially, John is not as strong as he is. Like 20 years ago. He went from being like this to being like this. So, like here, he's down to here now. It doesn't mean he's low. I say he's about maybe half as strong as he used to be. He doesn't have to be as strong as he used to be. He's not wrestling. He's not, like, doing what he normally does. You can tell John is just not as strong anymore. And when he threw those steps, they should have done a higher arc. When you see Cody, he had to lean into it to get it to hit him. And I think I did put the image in my face, but I'll put it again just to let you know that's what he did. But it was fine. Unscrewing the bottom ring rope was fine. Getting nailed in the face 3 times with that ring rope, well, the tie for the ring rope, tie, was good. Wasn't bad. It just showed the toughness. And in the end, it took how many crossroads? He'd already gotten at least 1 or 2 crossroads before. Then he got 3 more. And then he was finally done. Finished. John lost. Cody wins. And like in the beginning of the match itself, when John hugged Cody and they talked about, I'm sorry and I'm going to give you the best fight, and they hugged each other, here they did pretty much the same thing. And I do agree with Michael Cole. The torch has been passed. Right now, as it stands, John is done. He's no longer the top, which he wasn't anyway, but he wanted to make sure at a signature pay-per-view that he put over the person that right now is going to be the new John, which it is Cody. So it was done well. I was all right with it. And then when he left the ring, I'm going like that, giving him, he's not done yet. He has a couple of months left. And guess what? When you hear a Michael Cole clearly says, he's got 4 more months, guys. Let's see what else he can do. I had this feeling, okay, if Cody's not getting done, it is John. Brock Lesnar's song comes on, and everyone, and you hear Michael Cole go, holy shit, he's back. And to be honest, the rumors were true that he could come back. I want to give you some context, guys. Context. When you look at what happened with the Grant case, they were talking about Brock. They were. But there's no proof that Brock was the person they were talking about. But it's obvious that the person they were talking about was Brock. So at this time, let's be honest. If Brock was implicated in that case with Vince McMahon and with Grant, he would not be coming back. Very honest. They would not bring him back. They would not do it. So he, at this time, hasn't been found in any trouble. So they brought him back. He's facing down John Cena. He walks around, takes off his vest, takes off the hat, jumps in the ring, F5s him. The Cena saga continues. I think that's it. I think that's the name of this video. The Cena saga continues. It was going to click off. I didn't want it. Let me give it to you like this. Was this a great SummerSlam weekend? It was a good SummerSlam for night 2. Night 1, no. No, only one match made night 1 mean something. The rest of it, if there was no last match with Seth claiming the title after CM Punk claimed the title, this would only be a night 1 bomb and a night 2 success. And that would be in everybody's mind. Flat out, that's the truth. That's the truth. But as it stands right now, night 1 was okay. Had a great ending. Night 2 was great generally overall. Except for, let's be honest, the one match that didn't really need to be there, but was good that it was there, was AJ and Dom. You could have done that on Raw and SmackDown, and people would have loved it just as much as they loved it here. But if you got to take one match out, it would have been AJ, and it would have been Dom. But to be honest, and I'm making this truthful here, I want to ask you guys truthfully. If you look across the entire scope of Raw and SmackDown, not NXT because they never show up in these shows, what was the most strongest stories they have? They have Naomi, now as champ, and is a great heel. And everybody wants her head. You got going on with Seth Rollins, now with CM Punk. Nothing going on with Roman Reigns, but just those two. And now you got what's going to happen with Cody Rhodes. They're going to do something with him. That would be 3. And John Cena. That will be number 4. The 4th one. And they have how many people that are on Raw and SmackDown? Not talking about NXT, not talking about Speed, not talking about Evolve, not talking about LFG, just Raw and SmackDown. They have a whole bunch of people. And the most they got with real compelling stories are 4. I said this many, many years ago when it came to the Bloodline storyline. You only have one major story and everything else means nothing. There's barely any stories for the women, barely any stories for the men. That's it. Now, mind you, they can improve, but knowing the schedule they have, particularly soon, they're going to be doing, I think, a Crown Jewel, or what's the next, Clash in Paris. With such short amount of time, we got until what? August 24th, I believe, for Clash in the Castle, I think. There's so little time to get these stories built from August and September into October, and then going into Survivor Series, which is, it's so condensed. The major problem here is there's just not good storytelling. They don't have enough time to do it anymore. And worse yet, and I mean this, they don't really care about doing major stories. They only care about doing the stories that can make them the most of this. Remember, this is not WWE anymore. This is not Vince's WWE anymore. This is Silver Lake WWE that only cares about the almighty dollar, and all that matters is advertisement. How many advertisement did we get from Michael Cole, and advertisement that we saw on the ring, and advertisement when we got in the back last night with Papa John's, Slim Jims? Dude, we don't have a good company anymore. It's a company with only this. But I've been saying that for a while. Peace.